In a post to Truth Social after Cassidy's loss, President Trump said, quote, "It's nice to see that his political career is over." NBC News political reporter Megan Leibowitz joins us now from Washington with more on this. Megan, good morning. So why does this race matter, and just what does Senator Cassidy's loss tell us about the current political climate here?
Hey, Joe, good morning. Yeah, this is part of this broader trend of politicians who have crossed President Trump getting voted out of office after President Trump has urged his supporters to oust his political opponents and instead to support politicians who are loyal to him. Now, a defining moment in the relationship between Senator Cassidy and President Trump came years ago when Senator Cassidy had voted to convict President Trump on those impeachment charges following the January 6th attack on the Capitol. Now, fast forwarding to today, just 2 of the other 6 Republican senators who had voted to convict President Trump are still in office, and just 2 of the 10 House Republicans who had voted to impeach President Trump are still in office as well. Now, looking ahead too, there's also another really interesting primary to watch just tomorrow when Republican Congressman Thomas Massie of Kentucky will also face a primary. Massie too has clashed with President Trump, and in return, President Trump has urged his supporters to vote out Massie. So another really interesting primary to keep an eye on amid this larger context of people who have criticized President Trump getting voted out of office, Joe.
As for Senator Cassidy, I mean, he still has several months left in this term. How is he responding?
Yeah, so he made a speech on Saturday night where he seemed to criticize President Trump, though he did not explicitly name President Trump. In that speech, he had said that the country isn't just about one person, but it's about the welfare of all Americans and about the Constitution. And he had said that if someone did not understand that and instead tried to use power to exert control over others, he said that that person then would not be qualified to be a leader, and that person would be about themselves. Take a listen to what else he had to say in that Saturday speech.
When you participate in democracy, sometimes it doesn't turn out the way you want it to. But you don't pout, you don't whine, you don't claim the election was stolen, you don't find a reason why. You don't manufacture some excuse. You thank the voters for the privilege of representing the state or the country for as long as you've had that privilege. And that's what I'm doing right now.
That comment about you don't claim that an election was stolen seemed to be criticism of President Trump, who has repeatedly falsely claimed that the 2020 election was that he won the 2020 election when it was won by former President Biden. Now looking ahead, the runoff election will take place on June 27th, Joe.
All right, Megan, and not a politician, but another person President Trump at least perceives as an opponent is former FBI Director James Comey. He's now facing his 2nd indictment in just 2 months from the Trump administration's Justice Department, this time over a social media post the DOJ alleges is a death threat to the president. He appeared on Meet the Press yesterday. Comey had this to say.
The President of the United States cannot use the Justice Department to target people because he wants to retaliate against them. That is not just wrong, it's a way in which our system cannot operate and be effective.
Does it make you and your family fearful?
No, because I know what I'm dealing with. Someone who's announced he's now the hunter. Okay, let's go.
So, Megan, bring us up to speed on this case and just what it tells us about how President Trump is using the DOJ in his 2nd term.
Yeah, so this case is also part of a broader trend of the Justice Department under President Trump at targeting President Trump's political opponents. So Comey isn't the only person. The Justice Department has also brought charges against former National Security Advisor John Bolton and New York Attorney General Letitia James, for example, though that case was later tossed by a judge. But in his interview with Meet the Press, Comey had also said that he still has complete faith in the judicial system, and he again said that he's not just not guilty, but that he's innocent, saying again, let's go. And so looking forward, he also declined to get into specifics about that case as well, because the case is still ongoing, Joe.
All right, Megan Leibowitz, thank you so much.